Hello and welcome back to Kim Reads and continue with me, Molly. Chapter 3, Trick or Treat. The grass skirt made out of newspaper and crepe paper was not exactly glamorous as the pink floaty skirt Molly imagined, but it was quite long and it did make a nice rustling noise as she walked. Besides, making the skirt had been lots of fun. Mom came from the Red Cross headquarters early just so she could help. She put her on a record of Hawaiian songs. Then all sat in the den cutting the newspapers into strips. They covered the newspaper with strips of green crepe paper. Mom sewed all the newspaper into long pieces of cloth to tie around her waist like aprons. Susan showed them how to make crepe paper flowers that were big and colorful. They made strings of paper flowers used as necklaces and bracelets. Mrs. McIntyre even squirted some of her perfume on them. By the time they were ready to go out trick-or-treating, Molly, Linda, and Susan were caught up in the excitement of Halloween and very pleased with their matching hula outfits. "Adorable, you look cute as buttons," said Dolores. She and Jill bobby pinned big long flowers into the girls' hair. "When I get back from taking Brad trick-or-treating, I'll take your picture to send to Dad," said Mrs. McIntyre. Ricky was wearing a sheet. He was going as a ghost. "Ricky, I want to take a picture of you, too." "Okay, Mom," said Ricky. He was dressed as a pirate. Ricky was a pirate every year. It was a windy night, but not too cold, so the girls rolled down their socks and pushed up the sleeves of their sweaters. They made their skirts ripple so they looked graceful and pretty, just like real grass skirts. They saw Allison when they went to the Silvano's house down the street. Her angel outfit was perfect. She had a long flowing white satin robe with fluffy white feathers at the neck and cuffs and all down the front. Her wings and halo were covered with gold glitter. "Hula dancers!" Allison sighed with Emily when she saw them. Molly was very pleased. They had made Allison jealous. "Your outfit is good too," Molly said. You really look like an angel." She felt like being nice. In fact, it would probably be fun to trick-or-treat with Allison, except Allison's mother always went with her. "Hawaiian hula dancers," Mrs. Hargate was saying. "What charming costumes, gals, and homemade too. Aren't you clever?" The girl smiled in her way. "Really," Linda said later, "you almost have to feel sorry for Allison with a mother like that." "I know," said Molly. "Wouldn't it be awful to have a mother who doesn't know the whole point of Halloween is to go out and walk around the neighborhood with your friends and not with her?" Because of the war, most people did not have any sugar to spare, so the girls did not get as many candies and cookies as last year. Nevertheless, their brown paper bags were soon bulging with apples, donuts, molasses, kisses, peanuts, and popcorn balls. The Hargate's maid was giving out Tootsie Roll Pops, which were the best treats. Two families, the Petersons and the Rucksteins, asked the girls to do a trick before they got their tricks. So the girls did a hula, waving their arms and singing the Hawaiian song they learned in school. Linda strummed her stringless ukulele. It was a big hit. The Petersons especially clapped and clapped. They gave the girls each 2 glasses of cider. Linda believed in eating her treats along the way, so her bag was not as full as Susan's and Molly's when they finally walked up to the driveway of Molly's house. Molly was humming the Hawaiian song. Linda was unwrapping a popcorn ball, and Susan was making her skirt switch and sway. They were almost back to the door when a huge splash of water poured down on top of them and a hose sprayed straight at them. "Ah!" Molly yelled. The water fluttered around her feet in cold gushes. She felt as if she was drowning in a waterfall. Her bag of treats burst, the popcorn balls floated in puddles, the donuts turned into spongy globs, the apples rolled their way down the sidewalk. Linda and Susan were gasping. Their paper flowers were flattened. Their huge skirts were hanging in shreds. The green dye from the crepe paper was dripping down their legs to their socks. When the water finally stopped, Molly's hair was stuck to her forehead. Her hands were full of melted paper flowers, and most of the hula skirts lay in soggy ribbons in the driveway. "Ruined, wrecked, completely wrecked," sobbed Molly. "Who would play such a mean trick?" Then the girls heard Ricky sing in a low, slow, steady voice. "I see London, I see France, I can see your underpants." "Ricky," yelled Molly, I'll get you for this. You ruined everything. You'll be sorry. You wait, you really sorry." Ricky threw the hose down and ran off. The girls just stood there in the driveway, stunned with surprise and sputtering with anger. Maybe they shouldn't have teased Ricky about Dolores, but who would ever expect him to get back to them in such a terrible, mean way? Finally, Linda said, "I'm freezing." Molly said, "You two go inside. I'll clean up the mess. Then we got some planning to do. We have to teach Ricky a lesson he'll never forget." And that's the end of that chapter. Thanks for listening. See you later.